Hello, guys, and welcome back to another Ninja podcast and another Sasuke podcast. I am Hunter Unit 751, joined today by, as always, for these podcasts, Alpha Puma.
Hello there, all.
And Flameosaurus.
Hi.
I almost called you Flame Vortex, which I knew was incorrect. And Atlantic Champ. Oh wait, no, sorry. Yeah, he had a thing. He had another thing. He had a thing in the post that he had to deal with.
He changed his name to Chumpy and we couldn't find him.
Yeah, exactly. Even though Puma just said what his name was. Anyway, we are back with another Sasuke podcast. We haven't done a Sasuke podcast since Sasuke 35, when we were gonna do our predictions for that one. According to Puma, I once filmed a Sasuke 36 podcast, which was like after Sasuke 36 happened, but I don't remember this.
Yeah,
and I think the footage
and you lost the footage.
The footage got corrupt or something, and
corrupt.
I don't remember this ever happening, so I've had to take his word for it. But we are back to talk about Sasuke 38. Which, I think the first thing I would say is, in the year that is 2020, 2020 the meme, it's just great to have a Sasuke tournament still happening this year.
Especially considering the fact that it's going to be like the normal format still.
Unlike
and not like an
W.
American Ninja Warrior sort of thing.
And it's good that everyone, like, they seem to take it really seriously, like, reading up on, like, how they made sure everyone tested negative, how, like, they did deep cleans, how they only had 5 people out each moment. Like, it was very thorough, and I'm glad that they took it seriously, and it seems like there was no people that tested positive or tested positive.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose we won't know for certain about some of that stuff until either, like, it gets put on the results page, or, like, someone that's actually an important competitor is completely cut from the broadcast, and it's like, oh, well, maybe they tested positive. But, you know, that's
another thing they differ from A and W.
That's probably... that's probably...
Let's not say anything else.
Yeah.
That's probably something that's unlikely to happen, since we obviously got the run order a few weeks ago. We know all 100 names that are going to be in the tournament. We know all of the important people. We know what numbers they are. And yeah, I think this is going to be a good tournament. I think we can, if it's obviously, because it's probably going to be the same format as always. Oh, well, it will be the same format as always. I think, maybe giving my predictions away early, I think we have a positive tournament to look forward to.
I think it'll be good.
I think the one thing, too, that the one little, I guess, format change I think is going to be interesting is that it's not going to be a live final like it was the last two. And it's going to be... I personally, I do like the charm of the live final, but I do like that it's all done in one day as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 day or 2 day, however they've done it this year. Yeah, I liked watching the live finals as well. It did kind of take up... The last 2 tournaments, obviously, have been live finals. It did take away... Is it the last 2 or is it the last 3?
Yeah,
it's the last 2.
The last 2, yeah.
It did kind of take away from the fact that, you know, if you've built this huge tower in wherever it was... What was the place called? The harbour.
Yokohama. Yeah, it was
Yokohama. The fact that they'd gone to the effort to build this huge tower... That to me, kind of gave away that you're probably going to see a final stage competitor, because otherwise, what a waste of building that giant tower.
I mean, to be fair, Sasuke's been pretty known to just spoil the fact that a final stage is going to happen. Like in 31, they just outright said someone was going to win.
Every tournament since 17, when there's been a total victory, they've revealed it in a trailer, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, seeing a live final stage run on New Year's Eve as well, with all those people in the crowd, it was just an incredible sight. He was in the first Sasuke podcast, our boy Smokey Massacre, He got the joys last year, and I think the year before, but definitely
No,
last year.
the last year he didn't know about it in 36 where it was,
Ah,
but he
okay.
knew there was last one.
37. All he had to do was look up and see the big bright tower in the distance.
Yeah.
Um, Either that or get some binoculars. But he was definitely there for 37,
Yeah.
and really enjoyed the experience from everything he was telling me. Right, so I guess now we can start looking into some of the specifics of this tournament, starting with the whole course itself, which probably isn't going to take very long because there's not a lot of changes to talk about, is there?
Yeah, the only new obstacle is the Silk Slider, which I personally really like, although I'm gonna miss the Wing Slider / TIE Fighter. The Silk Slider was one of my more favorite A&W obstacles, so I do like that it's coming back.
Flame?
Weird that most of the more recent, like, new Sasuke obstacles were already used in A&W.
Yeah, a little bit, I suppose.
Yeah.
It does. I suppose the pessimists out there would probably argue, "Oh, that's a little concerning that for coming up with new Sasuke obstacle ideas."
Yeah, I
But
think, like, the last, like, true original, like, Sasuke idea that wasn't stolen from A&W or Kunoichi was the music box.
yeah, that's probably accurate to be honest.
Was the Fishbone in Kunoichi first? Or was it
Yeah.
Sasuke? Oh,
Yeah, it was in. It was put in Kunoichi first.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
really cool actually, seeing it, and then when they put it in Sasuke, I approved.
I wonder if there weren't like we weren't in a pandemic world, if they would have changed other things, because like I think a lot of us can agree that the stage 2 has gotten very bland since Sasuke 31.
I have not had a good stage 2 that I was happy with since the most recent Total Victory.
Yeah.
I can
Sasuke
agree with that.
33 results wise, but that was I don't think down to the course, that was just the results.
Yeah.
Made stage 2 look semi difficult. I don't think there was any other tournament apart from that since 31 where I was impressed with the results. Like it's just not to say that it's all bad, but if you're I could name so many competitors, but if you're a competitor that's regular on clearing stage 1 or a regular on getting to stage 3, stage 2 is really just an interlude basically. If you don't do something stupid, then you can expect to see this person on stage 3 yet again.
Even as a viewer,
Yeah.
it is kind of that lull moment where you can just kind of like, it's not as intense as wondering if one of your favorite stage 1 guys are going to clear, or like, is your guy going to make the final stage? Like, it's not that intriguing anymore. I feel I love the fast paced energy of the Sasuke tournaments from 7 to 17, the stage 2s, and I would love if they go back to that sort of structure. But I feel like there does have to be some changes to stage 2, hopefully soon.
It's
Yeah,
I don't have these concerns, I should point out, when say we get like a new face on stage 2. When that happens, I'm just looking forward to seeing how they do. Although to be fair, if they then clear, I'll just be like, well, that means stage 2 is pretty easy. But yeah, I do know what you mean.
Flame, what did you want to say?
It's like the first 17 tournaments and 29, stage 2 is definitely very speed focused. And 18 through 28, and then like 30 and 31, I guess. Stage 2, like, speed was still important, but it wasn't like as important, and part of that was replaced by the fact that none of the obstacles were like a true guarantee for you to clear. And ever since like 32, that's kind of been gone.
Yeah, but I suppose you can say this with the whole course, not just stage 2, is the fact that we still don't know what kind of budget Sasuke gets, and this could maybe be the problem with why they use quote unquote A&W obstacles as their new obstacles, or why we don't see that many changes, because we don't know, I guess, what kind of budget Sasuke has.
They have enough budget to add 2 more motors to the course.
Yes.
One that didn't function.
Allegedly.
I mean, did but didn't.
If we ask Rene about the cliffhanger dimension, he has a different opinion about it. But
Yes, Puma has Rene's phone number. They're really
Yes.
close friends. I think the big thing, also obstacle-wise, on stage 2, that it kind of links back to obviously what's been going on this year, is that a lot of people were wondering if the backstream was still going to be there. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit surprised that they kept it. That they kept it in, considering, again, obviously we, as Puma said, everyone was tested beforehand, and if they all came back negative, it was fine. But they're still, they're still cleaning all of the obstacles after every few runs. I found it a bit strange that they've decided to keep the backstream despite how far they're going with all the safety stuff.
yeah, I can agree with that. I thought it was going to be either replaced with another obstacle or cut entirely, and it would just go like spider walk to conveyor belt.
Would have flowed really strangely if it had gone from spider walk to conveyor belt.
There would have been a lot of.
Or if they put, yeah. To be fair, the backstream does take up a hell of a lot of space, much like the Dragon Glider, but that's a whole different topic. And then stage 3, we might get to see, hopefully this time, the cliffhanger.
The dimension actually working.
I
was intrigued the first time we saw it, even though they then just cheesed us by saying, "Oh, actually, we've just shown you how it works, but actually we're not going to use it because of the rain." So you just have a normal cliffhanger.
Yeah, I'm still iffy about the cliffhanger dimension. I feel like it shouldn't be in until another total victory happens, but that's just my opinion on it.
I personally agree. This is the first time we've had a cliffhanger change since
9.
Since 9, yeah, when they went from the second cliffhanger to the third cliffhanger, and it wasn't due to a total victory. It's an odd one, and I'd need to see a couple of runs first for me to gauge just how much more difficult this obstacle is. Because for all we know, there could be no final stage. Everyone could fail at this new cliffhanger. But I need to see it in action first.
Yeah, I definitely see them wanting to change it because people have been able to practice the crazy cliffhanger long enough to be able to get the flips right. But at the same time, no one is gonna there's a difference between being able to do the 180 flip and catch the thing than trying to catch it on a moving thing. I don't think you could actually, unless you're a very crafty builder, build a moving cliffhanger properly.
I've always been impressed with Yusuke's ability to recreate ideas for obstacles, like how he used to practice his breaststroke technique for the backstream. I wouldn't put it past him. Just sit on a chair or so, sit.
Well, his chair stand ladder thing was really cool.
Yeah, actually, for the final stage, wasn't it?
Yeah, the final stage. Yeah,
I wouldn't put it past him. Who was it? There was somebody in Sasuke. Was it Takeda or was it someone else? Someone had in Sasuke 35. They had a profile and they built a full-scale dragon glider.
Yeah,
maybe it wasn't
Takeda.
35. Maybe it was 36
had a huge
actually.
Dragon glider. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put it past any competitor, not to find a way to create a moving cliffhanger.
Yeah, I mean, Daisuke Matsuda built a fishbone, so I think it's possible. I feel.
Yeah. I don't think there's any other course changes or notable things elsewhere. Basically, the course is, for almost the third tournament in a row, pretty much unchanged apart from the new silk slider on stage 1. We don't know what the time limits are yet.
We have the rolling log is going to be working as well.
Yes, we will. We will get to, as the trailer showed. For those that have obviously seen it, we will have a rolling log in action this time around. So I guess that means we can now just move on to just having a brief conversation about any competitors that we're looking forward to seeing in this tournament.
I want to give a shout out to Takeda coming back. I'm so happy that he's
Yeah.
coming back.
And let's get the elephant in the room out of the way, Nagano.
Yes. I never would have in again, I don't want to keep bringing up the meme word, that is 2020. I never would have put money in a million years on saying that A, we would have a Sasuke tournament this year, and B, we would have a Sasuke tournament in which 4 All-Stars are going to be competing in it.
Yeah, I found it interesting with Nagano because he said in he did a Q&A with Takeda and he said he would come back for the 40th anniversary as like a one-time thing, and I guess he changed his mind and thought 38 was a good time to come back. And
yeah, he said that it was to like try and cheer up Japan in the world because of how depressing it's been, which shows how good of a guy Nagano is.
Yeah,
I mean, he's pretty. As far as not obviously without even just saying like, oh, this guy's really cool. Just as general nice guys go, Nagano. Yeah, I think everyone who knows the sport knows just how much of a good guy Nagano is.
Yeah.
And it's great to see him back. I'm glad that he's not getting retconned and he has a very high number. I'm sure obviously that was going to happen anyway, but I was a little surprised to see Yamada up there. Again, maybe we're leaning into it too much. We'll get into this with the predictions on the numbers. I was a little surprised to see Yamada as high as he was.
Yeah, like the last times that he's ran with his Black Tigers, so I'm surprised that they gave him such a high number, and I'm surprised maybe Inui and Yamada have mended their relationship a little bit. And
for the 15th time.
I think his number might be so high because of the lack of Akiyama, and they wanted like probably the closest person there that's not gotten total victory to have a high number, I guess.
I guess that's one credit. That's one credit you could probably give Yamada, is that when you talk about the best competitors of all time, so taking into account every Sasuke tournament, you have to throw the 4 champions in there. But then after that, Yamada is probably, even though he's failed stage 1 so many times,
12.
Yeah, his utter dominance in the first 12 tournaments though were great. Like 10 stage 1 clears at that time out of 12, like that's impressive. You can't discredit that.
And just obviously his all-round impact, obviously he had his famous...
He's Mr. Sasuke for a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Aside from the All-Stars, I think there's a lot of interesting stories to look at in this tournament because of the some of the surprising results we saw last time, obviously impacted by the rain, which led to what I felt like was a humongous amount of warped wall failures. None more so than I think seeing Yusuke. I'm very interested to see how Yusuke does this time around, having failed stage 1 for the first time in 15 tournaments last time out.
Yeah, I'm curious about how he and Kawaguchi both do in terms of bouncing back and seeing how they are able to recover. And I think that's something that's interesting because Kawaguchi, when he failed the double pendulum, recovered pretty well. So I'm curious how Yusuke, that was his first big defeat, recovers.
Yeah. Flame, any other people you're looking out for?
I want to see how Hyoki's gonna do.
You rooting for Hyoki? Do you think Hyoki's gonna pull a surprise?
I'll save that for the results predictions when we get to him.
Yeah.
I will say I'm also curious about Tada. I wonder if he will have another performance similar to his last year.
I want to see how he does under pressure.
With a very high number.
Yeah.
And I suppose, strictly speaking, more eyes will also be on him more eyes will be on him this tournament now because of the fact that Rene and all other foreign competitors or competitors that don't live in Japan, obviously no one's been invited. So, strictly speaking, he is the best. He is the best performer from the last tournament that is in this tournament. which I think will add another level of pressure.
That's going to be interesting.
Aside from that, I could list off a load of names. Yuji has had really great 2 tournaments. Kenji Darvish looking to bounce back. How is Shingo and Takeda going to do? Kano.
Yeah, Amori.
I want to see Kano do well. Ryo Matachi, is he going to go on another stage 1 losing streak? There's lots of, if so many questions. I guess we can't really cover them all.
We're going to find out in the predictions.
Yes. Before we do, though, one last quick thing before we go into the predictions I do want to say, which is a fact I actually found out about today. I was scrolling through some Sasuke-related thing, and someone made a point of the fact that even though Sasuke 22 isn't the most memorable tournament, it's a historic one because it's the only tournament where all 4 grand champions have competed in the same tournament together.
Oh, wow.
This tournament
was fully cut.
Yeah, well, yeah. This tournament will be the first tournament in Sasuke history where all 6 competitors that have made it to the final stage more than once are competing in the same tournament together.
Oh, wow.
So that's Akira, Shingo, Nagano, Yuji, Ryo, and
Yusuke.
Yusuke.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
I found that to be an awesome statistic or an awesome little fact.
Yeah.
So I think that means we can now move on to the predictions. We didn't want to make this podcasting crazy long, guys. We wanted to keep this one a little bit shorter. And I think we've covered everything we wanted to.
Yeah. So in terms, sorry.
Sorry. The way we're going to do this is similar to previous podcasts. We have chosen the competitors, whether they're successful or not, that we think will be the standout names to look out for. And then we've added in a couple of others. And we're just going to basically go down the line, and all 3 of us are going to say where they're going to fail, or if they're going to clear stage 1. Puma's going to introduce each individual name, and then I will try to give some kind of quick factoid about them, whether it's how they did in the last tournament or just a general famous fact about them. And then we'll give our predictions. We'll do all of that for stage 1, and whoever we've each said has made it to stage 2 will then go through stage 2, then go through stage 3, and then do the final stage if anyone gets there. Which is basically similar structure to how we've done it previously. So I guess Puma, take it away.
Yeah, so we are starting we're doing chronological order. Sadly, we are not starting at number 3 like we have been for a lot of them. We're starting at number 2 with Torisawa Katsuhide.
Weightlifter, failed. I don't even know where he failed last time. Failed either the steps or the rolling hill, I think. Or did he fail the TIE fighter? I can't remember. He failed one of the first 3 obstacles. Puma, where do you think he's going to fail?
I think he continues his early streak of failing and fails the rolling hill, but he does lift the weights pretty well.
If stage 1 was just the tackle, he would clear.
Yeah, a 200-meter tackle.
Yeah.
How do you think he's going to do, Flame?
I think he's going to fail rolling hill.
I am actually being slightly positive with my result. I think he's going to be the first failure we see on the silk slider.
Oh boy.
Let's see if he can carry his weight on it.
Yeah.
So now, number 11. I'm surprised this person got number 11. They're obviously the greatest competitor ever. Karen at number 11.
Pretty much the standout female regular competitor that competes almost in every tournament these days. Failed the rolling hill last time. If I'm pretty sure I'm correct on this one.
With 4 seconds left.
Oh, that's the tournament where she went really slow? I forgot about that. Flame, where do you think Karen's going to fail this time?
I think Fishbone.
Oh, okay. Ooh. She will be over a lighter frame, so maybe that could help her on the Silk Slider.
And
maybe
she'll have the extended time limit.
Yeah.
Yes. How long that time limit will be, I hope, is not going to be crazy long like we saw with,
I gave Jesse Graff a boatload of time.
It gave Jesse the fastest time, but I think Jun was still classed as the fastest proper because of how much insane amount of time Jesse had left. I am not so optimistic. I think she will fail the Silk Slider. I don't think she'll clear it.
I'm even more pessimistic than you both. I have the Rolling Hill. So now,
but is that a fail? Is that a fail or is it a timeout?
I'm gonna have it as a fail. No timeout, sadly. But number 14, our first actually good competitor, surprising Koji Saikawa, who cleared stage 1 last tournament as a newcomer.
Actor, newcomer, but cleared stage 1, failed the salmon ladder. I am going to be positive on this one, and I'm going to say he clears stage 1 again.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think he clears.
I am sadly being pessimistic and saying that he's failing the Dragon Glider.
Okay. If he failed the Silk Slider, that would definitely gauge like early on, because his run will probably be in the first 10 minutes of the broadcast. If he failed the Silk Slider, that would definitely be an early gauge of how tough the Silk Slider is, on the basis that he doesn't completely cheese it.
Yes. So we are moving on to number 19, which is Kota Sakuma.
I think you've missed someone.
Oh yeah, sorry, no, I'm dumb. Number 17, who can we forget? The monkey, Akira Omori, going as Osaru this tournament.
He has so many names. The monkey, Osaru, Akira Omori. Take your pick. Competed in the last tournament.
To become a Pokemon.
Maybe, possibly. Competed in the last tournament. Went very fast through the first 2 obstacles. I was impressed, especially considering his age, but sadly failed the TIE Fighter. Flame, where do you think Akira is going to fail this time? 3-time final stage competitor.
You know what? I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I think he gets to the Dragon Glider.
Wow.
I like it. Because I actually think with the TIE Fighter gone, I have hopes for him on the Silk Slider, and I think he's going to get to the Fishbone.
Man, you guys are making me look like the most negative Nancy ever, because I have him failing the Silk Slider.
Ouch. At least he gets to the 3rd obstacle again, according to your prediction. Puma's going to be the Atlantic of predictions this time round.
No, I'm not having Darvish get to the ultra crazy cliffhanger.
Okay, I guess we'll move on now to number 19.
Yes, 19, Kota Sakuma, who shocked the world at number 4 2 tournaments ago, but was not able to clear the last 2 tournaments, getting up the warp wall.
He's stealing my facts. I thought I was factoid man, but I'll let you do it on that one because I forgot who he was. So yes, he is the warped wall guy. Yeah, he is yet to touch the water, but he has sadly used up all of the time in both of his 2 appearances going out on the warped wall. Is it going to be a hat trick of warped wall failures though, Puma?
No, I think he clears. He'll be the first clear of the tournament.
Flame.
I think he's going to clear.
I think you'll learn now with my long delays that this is where I stopped on my predictions because I had to go do something else. I think he will... Oh, sod it. I'll say he clears. I was tempted to say warped wall again, but I'll say he clears.
Cool. So we all have 3 clears with Kota Sakuma. We're wishing the best for him. So we are making a big jump because there's no one really relevant in the 20s to 36. Daisuke Matsuda.
The resident builder. He can build every obstacle under the sun, but when it comes to actually doing them in a tournament, very hit and miss. I can't remember if he failed the Fishbone or the Dragon Glider. I think he failed the Dragon Glider last tournament.
I believe he did.
Yeah, I think so.
Where is he going to get to this time, Flame?
I think he failed Silk Slider.
Oh, okay. I am actually being positive on this one. I think he will fail the Dragon Glider again.
I have to agree with Hunter and say the Dragon Glider will be his demise.
I think he will make the trampoline, and then I think he'll either screw up the transfer or screw up the dismount. I'm going to say he screwed up the transfer.
His trampoline skills were not very good, if I recall, so I think he may not have been able to improve it in time at his ripe old age of 44.
But that's, still younger than Nagano.
Yes, that's true. Yes. But speaking of 40-year-olds, we have another, and that is Yusuke Suzuki.
The most current okay competitor in Sasuke.
The current Sasuke sensei, I guess, the teacher of Sasuke, cleared stage 1 last time. Surprisingly, actually, in my opinion, but sadly went out on
stage 2 fail.
Sadly went out on the spider walk. It's me, I think, this time. I am going to say he. I'm going to be. This will probably be my first very left field result, and I'm going to say he fails the warped wall.
Oh,
ooh. Interesting.
Puma.
Well, I think he beats the warp wall and clears.
Okay. Just so you guys are also aware, watching at home, Puma, I believe, is writing down all of our results so that we can determine who the winner is. Of all the previous times we've done these Sasuke podcasts, we've kept a track of the results, and then we've sort of looked at them when we've been watching the show, but we've never actually cared to declare a winner, I don't think. Or put it on video. Or like as in on a future video, who won the last predictions. So we'll just say I won them. I won them all.
All right, fair.
So you were saying he clears. Flame, do you think he clears?
I think he clears.
Okay. At least we all got him getting to the warped wall.
Yeah. I don't think anyone will be surprised if he fails or clears, though.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the things about Yusuke Suzuki. Whether he clears or fails, you're not surprised.
He's definitely not bad, but I wouldn't say he's very good either.
Never cleared stage 1 in back-to-back tournaments. He has a good result. He has a good tournament, but it's then followed by a bad one. I believe failing the double pendulum and then failing the fishbone, I believe, in the two times after he made it after he cleared stage 1.
Well, hopefully this gave him some consistency. After 37, which is Yusuke Suzuki, there's not many other good competitors until 49, where we get to Yoshiyuki Yamamoto, the first of the Black Tigers.
First of the Black Tigers, made his debut in the last tournament and got all the way to the cliffhanger dimension, which probably led to lots and lots of crying from Yamada. Puma, how do you think he's going to do?
So this is the Black Tiger I'm very up on. Because he got to the second flip, he showed a lot of strength throughout all 3 stages, and I think he's going to clear.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he clears.
I am going to say he clears. I was very hit and miss, but I will say he clears.
All right, so then we go to number 50 right after, where we get to Yoshinori Issa, the second of the Black Tigers.
Number 50, the halfway point. Complete polar opposite when it came to his 2 appearances. First appearance, fails the rolling hill. Second appearance, gets all the way to the cliffhanger. What's he going to do this time? Flame.
I think he's going to fail the Dragon Glider.
Ooh, okay. I'm going to say, because he failed the first transition on the cliffhanger last time, and if memory serves me correctly, because I looked at the Sasuke 37 results within the last week or two, if memory serves me correctly, he was the only person who cleared stage 2 with less than 10 seconds on the clock.
Yes.
So he is still strong, don't get me wrong, and maybe he's not perfect on the speed side of things, but I will reluctantly much more reluctantly than the other Black Tiger, say he clears. But maybe not holding out as much hope for him on stage 2 when we come to that.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I'm not up on this guy. I personally think he is the weaker of the two Black Tigers, and I feel like he's gonna have a really big down tournament. And I think it's gonna be the Fishbone Kai that takes him out.
I thought you were going to say the Silk Slider then.
No,
He goes back
not
to
that
his
cool.
roots. He goes back to his roots and fails the rolling hill again.
That'd be a sandwich.
Oof. So then we got number 57, one of our favorite competitors, Hioki Masashi.
Mr. Wholesome.
New star. I guess the first major veteran / top competitor in the tournament, apart from the monkey, obviously. Made it to the cliffhanger again in the last tournament. I can't remember if he failed the first transfer or the second one.
The first.
It was the first this time, yeah.
I believe 36 was when he failed the second transfer, wasn't it?
Yep, that was the only time he
only
got
time
past the
he's
first
beat
transfer.
Any crazy transfer.
Let's go with me. I will say, yeah, you know what? I'm going to say he clears. I just don't see a surprise in Hioki here. I think Mr. Consistent. I think he will get the job done for the 6th time in a row. I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
He hasn't failed since 32.
Yeah.
Flame.
I think he clears.
Yep. And
I
Puma.
think he clears.
Yep. All clears across the board as expected for Hioki.
So, number 65, we have a Kunoichi veteran, Kanon Miyahara.
A Kunoichi veteran. That's all I got for you.
Yeah, in Kunoichi 11, the final Kunoichi, as of now, she cleared stage 1. However, she did fail stage 2.
Damn it, I did know that actually. This is her Sasuke debut, isn't it?
Yes, this is her Sasuke debut.
I need a bit of time to decide on this one, so Flame.
I
Flame needs time as well.
I think she's gonna. I'm gonna assume she has experience on it from Kunoichi, but I think she fails Fishbone.
Ooh.
I have to agree with Flame and also say that I think fails the Fishbone.
Oh, you know what then? I'm going to be the positive one, and I will say she completely flops the trampoline on the Dragon Glider.
Just slightly further.
Yeah.
So now going into number 70, this is where we're starting to get into the more big time competitors. Number 70, Shunsuke Nagasaki.
The trampolinist, Sasuke finalist in 17, who has gone on a downward trend since the post Morimoto total victory. I think at one point me and Puma said he was amongst the top 5 best competitors currently on Sasuke when he failed the flying bar in back-to-back tournaments. I believe we're fair in saying. Since then, he's had double spider walk / spider drop failures, and in the last 2 tournaments, has failed stage 1, going out earlier. Both times he went out on the Dragon Glider with a, to be fair, pretty stupid mistake that definitely was avoidable. And then I can't remember
exactly again.
The dismount. I believe he dabbed his feet at the end. So definitely could have cleared that obstacle and probably got to the warped wall. Might have even cleared.
Pulled a Shingo in 16.
Yeah. And then
my God,
last time out, cheesed even earlier. I can't remember exactly how he failed it, but went out even earlier on the Fishbone.
Yep.
Puma. Is this the tournament of redemption for Nagasaki?
I think it is. I think he is able to clear stage 1 yet again.
Okay. I am going to say... Oh, you see, you've thrown me there. I thought you were going to say he fails, and then I was all ready to be, yeah, he's going to fail. I was going to say, I agree, he fails. I want to see Shunsuke do well, but... And he's still at a good age at the minute. I think he's still...
He's 32.
He's 32, you know, that's still like peak years he's not got many peak years left, but then he's still technically he's still in the peak years. Well, when you get to the final stage, aged like 17 or 18, that is definitely peaking too early. There's something not quite there, whether it's his training or just his applying himself. Maybe he's not taking it as seriously as he once did because he apparently doesn't know how to spider walk anymore. I just can't look past a failure, regretfully, even though I want to. And I'm going to say he screws up the Dragon Glider. I feel like if he got past the Dragon Glider with enough time, I couldn't see him failing the walk to wall because he's quite a tall competitor compared to most.
If he fails the trampoline obstacle on the trampoline, that'd be pretty bad.
I don't think he'll fail the trampoline. I'm going to say he fails the transfer just because I can't bear to see him dab his foot on the dismount again. Flame, what do you think he's going to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Hunter. I think he fails the transfer on the Dragon Glider.
Oh man, I thought I was the one being negative. All right, so one up higher, Ryo Matachi.
Two-time finalist. I believe this is the second of our 6 two-time finalists so far.
Yep.
Went on a Yamada failing spree for 5 straight tournaments, but did get to stage 3 in 36, only to go back to his fishbone roots and fail it in 37, albeit in a somewhat stupid way because he tried to go too fast.
Yeah.
A stupid way in the sense that I don't think he would do that again. I think it was just a basic mistake and a misjudgment rather than Ryo being Ryo. Ryo having a Ryo moment, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
He is insanely bipolar on the course.
I am... You know what? I was going to say warped wall failure, but because of my perceived pessimism on Shunsuke's
Don't let that
prediction...
you.
Okay, fair enough then. I'm going to say warped wall. I was very tempted to say he clears, but I'm going to say warped wall. Flame.
I'm tempted to say Silk Slider, but I don't think he would make a stupid mistake that early.
He's quite short. He doesn't have to worry about dabbing his legs in the water on the dismount.
I think he's gonna fail the warp wall.
You know how I feel about Ryo's warp wall technique. I hate his weird walking back and forth thing. It doesn't work. Anyone who does that, honestly, I personally believe deserves to fail the warp wall. And God. I think Ryo fails the warp wall.
We have a triple warped wall. I almost bucked the trend by saying he clears, and instead we have triple warped wall.
Well, you started the trend.
A lot of people, to be fair, I know Puma's probably shot himself in the foot by saying anyone who does the walking technique deserves to fail, but on the opposite side to that, I do recall seeing lots of people, doing that in 37. And some of them did clear.
Yeah. My problem is I just don't like you have more attempts at the wall if you don't try and bank on one try by walking back and forth and gaining momentum. It just doesn't work.
They think they're resting their legs. Their legs are probably knackered from pushing 800 kilos of tackle.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong in this, but besides
That's why I like the other Yamamoto. What's his name? Kaitero. I loved his knee jerking that he's done in the last few tournaments when he clears the tackle. He's like he might as well just look at his legs and just shout "Wake up!" with how much effort he puts into his knee jerk.
But yes, we are going to move on to 72, Hitoshi Kano.
New star has been very all over the place with appearances due to a large number of injuries, which is very regretful. Smokey Massacre's favourite competitor. First time he's competed in back-to-back tournaments since Sasuke 33. failed the Dragon Glider in his last 2 tournaments, or last 2 appearances? Flame, how do you think he does? Is he going for a hat trick of Dragon Glider fails?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh. Puma.
Oh no. I am optimistic in saying that he will clear.
Yes, I also believe, because I believe for the first failure, he failed the dismount. The second failure, he forgot to let go for the transfer.
No, it was the final dismount area. He dipped his feet.
In 35, it was the dismount, and then in the he didn't compete in 36, and then 37, he didn't let go for the transfer, and then timed out like Takeda did. Which then led to a very emotional interview after. He was so angry with himself, and even though I will not claim to be an expert in Japanese, even though I know a little bit, it was one of those interviews where I almost felt like I could understand what he was saying. Like, I could tell he was just so frustrated with himself because he knew he could beat that obstacle. I think we will see Kano back on stage 2 for the first time since Sasuke 31 this time around.
I won't be shocked if he clears, but I don't think he will.
I'll be very happy if he clears because of all the injury problems he's had over the last few years. Yeah.
But yeah, moving on, we have Ayano Oshima.
Miss Kunoichi at the minute. High expectations were placed on her going into the last tournament, but she sadly failed. Was it the TIE Fighter or was it the Fishbone?
Fishbone.
Okay, she wasn't as bad as I remember. Yes, I'm going to say this time around, because she failed the warped wall in the tournament before that, didn't she?
In 31 when she competed, yes.
Oh, was it 31? Okay.
Yeah, she got her hands on top of it, though.
Yo, she was that woman, wasn't she?
Like,
yes.
right as she timed out.
I am going to say she improves the mood of the competitors by shocking us all and getting to the warped wall before failing it.
Wow.
You all thought I was going to say she cleared, but no, I don't see it happening. I say she gets to the warped wall, which could be way too optimistic, but I'll go with it. She probably has Dragon Glider experience from Kunoichi.
Yep.
Even though it was only one track there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just realised I forgot to say Puma. What do you think?
If you're overly optimistic, then I must be super over optimistic because I'm saying she clears.
I agree with Puma.
What? Oh, wow. Okay. So we're going to see our third different female competitor in Sasuke history clear stage 1 in this tournament.
Yeah, if any woman can do it this tournament, I think it's her.
Well, she is probably the best. If Jessie Graff wasn't in the last tournament, she's probably been the most high profile and best competitor to compete in the last 2 tournaments.
So
wow.
Moving on to 80. This was at the request of Hunter. I originally did not have this person on our list, but Hunter specifically requested him. Kaisuke Tsuboi.
Footballer, a former player of the best sport on the planet, aside from Ninja Warrior, and as we all know from
football.
And as we all know from shut up, Flame. And as we all know from recent Sasuke history, footballers sometimes do well on Sasuke. Sometimes. So I'm gonna say this guy. You know what? Sod it. I forced you to put him on this prediction list, so I'm gonna go all in with my poker chips, and I'm gonna say this guy clears.
Oh God.
I'm ruining my predictions here with predictions like this. I'm going to say he clears. Another footballer, even if he gets fast forwarded.
Oh no.
Flame, how do you think the footballer's going to do?
Silk Glider.
Oh, damn it.
I have the Fishbone.
Oh, okay. There's such lack of faith, the pair of you. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, 82. Speaking of fishbone failures, his previous tournament, he failed the fishbone. Naoyuki Araki.
Car mechanic guy, I think he is.
Yep, car mechanic.
Made it to the second transfer, I believe.
Yep, second
on
transfer.
the ultra crazy cliffhanger in Sasuke 36. Didn't even realise this guy competed in 37 because he got fast forwarded and was probably only shown for about 5 seconds, failing the fishbone. So didn't have a clue.
In the 60s as well. So
didn't have a clue from my side of the field that he was in the last tournament. I saw his name and thought, wait a minute, I know this name. And he had a page, and that's when I realised going onto it that he was the other guy from Sasuke 36. Let's go with Puma. How do you think he's going to do?
I think he gets some redemption and rebounds himself, and I think he clears.
Okay, Flame.
Yeah, I think he clears.
I am also actually going to say he clears. So we have another competitor that we're agreed on for a hat-trick of clears.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what you guys think of this next competitor. 86,
this will be very divisive, this next one.
Yamamoto. Perfect record, perfect attendance.
We're into the last 15. All of the last 15 are going to get a prediction. Starting off with Shingo. Competed in every tournament. Has failed stage 1 for the last 7 tournaments in a row. Went out with another trampoline woof last time out, failing on the dragon glider. Was the best / worst performance by the All-Stars last time out. Flame, how do you think he's going to do?
You know what? I think he learns from his mistakes and fails the transfer of the dragon glider instead of the trampoline.
Oh, God.
So he gets a few feet further. If memory serves me correctly, the last time we did a Sasuke podcast, me and Atlantic got into a joke prediction about one of us, I think, predicted, I think it was Atlantic, predicted he was going to break his shoulder on the tackle machine.
Oh, God.
Wouldn't even get to the warped wall.
I think one person timed out on the tackle before in 31.
Yeah,
I love Shingo with all my heart, and for this guy to be rocking up for his 38th run is just a Guinness Book. It deserves a place in the Guinness Book of Records for how incredible it is that he just keeps coming back. But the dude, I cannot see him clearing stage 1 anymore, and even more regretfully, I cannot see him doing a trampoline obstacle anymore. He's lost all ability to do it.
Oh, no.
And it's so painful. He's still a gym owner, isn't he? He still runs a gym as his job. Yeah. Put a trampoline in, Shingo! Please, just work on it! The day he gets given a profile where he's shown practicing trampolines, that'll be a subtle hint to the audience. He's either going to choke miserably before he gets to the trampoline, or he's going to be able to beat the trampoline. But until that day comes, I still can't trust him, so he's going to choke the trampoline all over again. This time, I think he's going to throw himself so far forward that he gets no height, and he just he misses the bar, and he just swan dives into the water. It's very specific.
Very Shingo.
Shingo is my favorite competitor of all time. I absolutely love him. He's amazing. I've picked him to clear every tournament since 31, and he's let me down.
Yeah.
And the Silk Slider screams a Shingo cheese moment, where he's just going to absolutely cheese. So I'm picking the Silk Slider.
Oh, I really hope it doesn't happen. I didn't even factor in the Silk Slider, honestly.
He is probably the most likely to fail there.
Yeah. But from one All-Star to the next, we have Takeda making his grand return from a shoulder injury. And he's looked small as hell.
All-Star, firefighter, former firefighter,
Also gym owner.
Holds the record for most stage 3 appearances, most
And stage 3 fails.
And stage 3 fails. Most stage 2 appearances. And still, I believe, hold... Oh, no, sorry, not anymore. Not anymore. We'll come on to that very shortly. I was going to make a stage 1 reference, but that's not true. He does still hold the record for consecutive stage 2 clears at 7 in a row. Technically, failed the Dragon Glider on both of his last 2 appearances, although the second one is subjective. Returning from a shoulder injury, still chasing that 20th stage 1 clear, which I'm going to go ballsy and say he is going to achieve in this tournament. I'm going to say Takeda clears for the 20th time.
Yeah, I think Takeda's going to clear.
I also have to share that sentiment that I think.
Wow, I wouldn't think of all the 20th. Of all the competitors, we'd agree on Takeda.
Takeda looks strong. Have you seen his pictures and his interviews? He's swole as hell.
No, I've not seen. Again, that's another thing I can come on to about pictures about another competitor, but we'll come on to that shortly as well. I've not seen any pictures of Takeda.
So now we are going into some big name celebrities that have done well. We're number 88, Snowman.
Apologies if I butcher this pronunciation.
Iwamoto
Hikaru. Is it Iwamoto or is it silent? Is it a silent
Iwamoto.
Hikaru I-word.
The Snowman, a stage performer, has competed in the last 5 Sasuke tournaments. Got to the warped wall in 36, which was his best run. Failed the dismount of the Dragon Glider last time.
Yep.
Let's go with Puma. How's he going to do?
Snowman impressed me a lot. He had a lot of strong things. I believe in 37 he would have cleared if he didn't dip his toes in the water. So I think he's going to clear this time.
Is he the guy... He doesn't wear any strange gear, does he? He doesn't wear anything odd like Kenji does.
He kind of wears the onesie similar to what you wore in Warrior UK.
Oh, sod off. Okay, here's the classic line. We've not heard it for a while. It's not a fucking onesie! We've not heard it in a while.
Yeah.
I can't actually picture what he looks like, strangely.
He kind of has bleached hair like ABCZ.
I do think he is a solid competitor, though. I will give you that. And... No, you know what? Honestly, I've thrown all my chips in on Takeda clearing that. I'm going to say this guy fails the warped wall this time. Flame.
Yeah, I think he fails warped wall.
I will concede that part of that prediction is because even though I know him from his results, I just can't picture what he looks like and just can't put a name to a face. And maybe that's just me being too judgmental.
That's fair.
I can't see him. I can't picture him.
So from one stage performer to the next, we have ABCZ.
I can picture this guy because he has such a colourful face and his expressions and the way he acts on Sasuke is great, supporting other competitors.
He just seems happy.
Yeah.
Another name I'm going to butcher. Tatsukada Ryoichi. That was a little better. Another... I think is he an acrobat? Or he's another stage performer of some kind?
Performer, yeah. He's a stage performer, I believe.
Competed in... This is his 8th tournament in a row. Has cleared stage 1 twice before, but has failed stage 1 in the last 3 tournaments. Failed the warped wall last time out. Is this the tournament, Flame, where we see ABCZ back on stage 2?
I believe so.
You know what? I'm going to actually say that this is, again, basing it on putting a name to a face. I'm going to say yes as well. I'm going to say he clears.
Man, you guys are very high on ABCZ. Unfortunately, I was not. I think it is going to be a cheese tournament, a big shock when he fails the Fishbone Kai.
Ooh. He failed the Fishbone, I believe, in 35.
Yeah.
You're saying he's going to get another one.
I think
Okay.
so. So this was a shock in the last tournament when number 90 Kiyotaro Yamamoto failed stage 1 for the first time in the previous 4 attempts that he had at it.
Yes, seminar lecturer, which is an interesting job to have, and also I feel like I'm right in saying an unlimited cliffer,
Yes, he is.
or a member of an unlimited cliffer. First competed all the way back in Sasuke 20, didn't return until 29, and then didn't return again until 34. Has made it to the second stage 4 times in his previous 6 appearances. Never clearing the stage, but timed out on the warped wall last time out, and I also believe 4 of his 6 failures have ended up being timeouts.
Yes.
If my memory is correct. Personal best, I think, came in Sasuke 37 when he timed out on the wall lift.
Yes.
I think I'm first this time. I'm going to say he gets back to stage 2 and he clears. Puma.
I also agree with that. I think he will clear.
And Flame.
I forgot this guy's name.
Kiyotaro Yamamoto.
Kaitaro Yamamoto. He was the
yeah,
guy.
this guy.
Yeah. Is he? Does he also turns up with like books or something, like as his intro? Like he has like some books in his hand.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Flame. Sorry.
I think he clears.
Yeah. I think his failure last time was one of the examples of the rain impacting on his warped wall attempts.
Yep. So 91 and 92 are the last 2 randoms of the tournament. And originally, again, they weren't going to be included, but Hunter asked if they could. So we're going to go to 91, Taigu Shiratori.
The long-lost brother of Bumpei Shiratori. According to his Sasukepedia, the Sasukepedia page for Sasuke 38, he is a lightweight champion. So I'm guessing he's going to be our boxer of this tournament. Again, I've only put these 2 competitors in because they've been, for some reason, given a number in the 90s. Making his debut, I'm going to say... I mean, to be fair, we could predict anything for these next 2 competitors. The chances are they're either being cut or fast-forwarded. The likelihood of them being shown is very slim. I'm just going to say, because his name is Shiratori, I'm going to give him a little bit of benefit and say he gets to the Dragon Glider.
Well, it's
Actually, you know what, Sodder? You know what? I've changed my mind. I'm going to say he fails the fishbone. I just realised actually I haven't said fishbone that often. I've changed my mind. I'll go with fishbone.
Well, you did mention the Dragon Glider, which is funny that you mentioned that because I too think he'll fail the Dragon Glider.
Okay, so one of us will probably be right. Flame.
You know what? Nobody has said this yet. And it's very unlikely, I think, but I'm just gonna say it, quad steps.
Jeez.
I want to include every obstacle.
Besides the tackle, yeah. I suppose that probably means Flame has included every obstacle now with that prediction.
The only person who I think can fail the tackle, I don't think we'll get there, but we'll get to him later.
No. We're going to 92 now, Fujita Yoshikazu.
Rugby Sevens member of the Japanese team, so I guess former player of the sport known as rugby, aka a hard man's American football.
Wow.
Newcomer. I'm going to say, unlike the Shiratori guy, because I was going to probably say with the last guy, Silk Slider, but because his name had Shiratori in it, I gave him 1 obstacle benefit. This guy is getting no benefit, and I'll say he fails the Silk Slider.
Flame, what do you think?
Flame, yeah, Flame.
You know what? I say Silk Slider also.
I am not thinking the Silk Slider, I'm thinking the Rolling Hill.
It's because he's a rugby player. He'll probably still be big. Or former rugby player.
That was my thought when I made that pick. So now
Which
we are moving
brings us
on
to the last 8. All big names, I believe.
The big names, starting with Kenji Darvish.
Puma's second favorite competitor of all time. He loves Kenji Darvish.
You know,
He's probably
sarcasm.
AKA the masked painter guy, musician,
The
drummer.
fake musician.
The world's strongest drummer, I will give him that accolade, made it to stage 3 in Sasuke 36, went out on the Dragon Glider last time out. Flame, you can go first on this one.
I think he fails the I don't know.
Okay, we'll come back to you.
I can really picture him anywhere.
Puma,
So,
we'll come back to you. Puma.
my Darvish, I'm going to be optimistic for once about our Darvish. And as much as I've given him crap over the years, I think he will clear this tournament.
Okay, that's different to what I was going to say. I think, and I guess this could technically be a regretful thing, because if he keeps failing stage 1, or if he starts failing stage 1, he could just lose all interest in competing, like Takeru, or a number of other celebrity competitors in recent years of Sasuke, which wouldn't be good for Sasuke's image, because Kenji is probably the most well-known or most popular celebrity they get still at the minute, with the amount of hype they give him.
Yeah.
I am going to be pessimistic and say he fails the Dragon Glider again. I will say if he does clear, I wouldn't be too surprised, because I think he is, as Puma says, he is a strong competitor, and he definitely has put in the hard yards, which is what earned him his stage 3 2 tournaments ago.
Yep.
But that's not going to stop me from being pessimistic. I would say Dragon Glider.
So, Flame, have you come to an idea?
I'm gonna say Lord Wall timeout.
Ooh, interesting.
You see, simply because I think he's quite tall, that's the reason why I didn't go for Warped Wall, which kind of didn't leave me with much choice.
So, now we are moving on to Jun Sato, who's made quite a renaissance in the 32 era, post 32.
Parkour teacher / all-round parkour expert.
/ full send boy.
Has cleared stage 1 for the last 6 straight tournaments, and has now cleared stage 1 9 consecutive appearances in a row, which is a record on Sasuke, ahead of Takeda and Nagano. Has the opportunity to clear stage 1 for his 7th straight tournament, and if he does do it, it will be the 10th appearance in a row he has cleared stage 1, which would be unbelievable unless your name's Hunter Unit 751.
Wow.
Is he doing it, Flame?
Yes.
Puma?
Yes.
Me? Oh, yeah, sorry, it's me. Yes. Yeah, I think this is the easiest prediction we will make in this whole tournament.
I know I said this back in 33, and I ended up eating it with Nagasaki. But if I had to pick 5 people to beat stage 1, or else I'd get shot in the face, Sato is still one of those 5 people I would pick.
Is he number 1, though, at this point? After the failures we saw last time?
I would say him or Morimoto.
Yeah, but that's huge credit to Jun. We'll probably get more into him later on about where he then lets himself down. But when it comes to stage 1s, it's unbelievable that out of all the people that could clear stage 1 10 times or 10 appearances in a row, the fact that he could be the first to do it is incredible to think.
Yeah. So with 95, we are going to our only returning final stage participant from last tournament, and that is Tatsuya Tada.
Come out of nowhere almost, this guy. Japanese competitor. I don't know what he does, which is, I guess, quite bad. First competed in Sasuke 17. Made a comeback in Sasuke 34, and has competed in every tournament since. Didn't have any kind of success until 36, when he failed the vertical limit, I believe. And then stunned everyone by getting all the way to the final stage in the last tournament. apparently, according to Sasukepedia, just technically coming up short of first place, because apparently Rene got further. Going out on the salmon ladder on the final stage. So the highest ranked competitor from the last tournament that's competing in this tournament, because Rene is obviously not here. How is he going to do, Puma?
I think he clears.
Flame.
I think he clears.
I think he will not choke, and I will also say he clears.
Yeah, I've been really high on Tada for a bit now, and I think going into 37, I felt like he had a strong chance of making the final or having that possibility, so I was really happy to see that.
He got
I
very
think
close to
37 proved that 36 was not a fluke.
I agree.
Yeah. But now he has to prove that getting to the final stage was not a fluke this time around. And as we said earlier, the pressure will be on him this time around with a high number and the fact that Rene is not there.
And speaking of flukes, we had someone who was trying to prove that their stage 1 failure was a fluke, and that is Tomohiro Kawaguchi at 96.
The
Hashtag
lorry, the lorry / truck driver, I think, or does he do something else now? Does he have a different job? Doesn't he do
sells
something with
shoes.
climbing?
He has climbing shoe brand now. He has a climbing shoe brand.
Okay, so he's now turning into a climbing shoe. Him and Yuji should create a business together. Turning himself into a climbing shoes man. Obviously stunned Sasuke history by getting all the way to the final stage on his comeback in Sasuke 30, and has pretty much been one of the top veterans ever since, even though, regretfully, and this is where he drops lower in my opinion, I think he's very inconsistent with his performances. Failed the warped wall last time out.
Yes.
And when I say inconsistent, what I mean by that is just, I think there's been a number of occasions where he shot himself in the foot, and sometimes I feel like he gets too much hype. Obviously, there was the cliffhanger screw up in 31 after getting to the final stage in 30. There was the double pendulum fail. There was the double pendulum fail, which could have easily been avoided. And then 36, when he did really well in the previous tournament. I think
he got to the vertical limit. 35,
he got to the vertical. He was one of the 3 that got to the vertical limit, wasn't he?
Yep.
And then just failed the first transfer on the cliffhanger in 36. He's still a solid competitor, and I will still say he clears. But going forward after that, well, I'll have to think about where he gets to. But I will say he clears. Puma.
I also have to say he clears. I think this is going to be his rebound, and if he is that inconsistent, he will have his up tournament now.
I think he gets a rebound and clears.
Okay. Now
So
it's going to
now-
get very interesting.
Now we move on to a shocking return, the first of 2, Tatsumi Yamada.
This wasn't
Miss-
that shocking, I don't think.
I was
We'll see.
surprised.
Like, it was
Yamada.
surprising, but
Oh.
not very surprising.
That's true. I'll give you that.
Yamada, a.k.a. Mr. Sasuke, making his 17th comeback onto Sasuke. Last
That's like-
competed...
A quarter of the times he's failed stage 1.
Ooh.
Called
Last competed in Sasuke 33, going out on the TIE Fighter. So at least he's avoided that possible double humiliation. Obviously runs the... I mean, what can you say about Yamada? Runs the Black Tigers, is the head of the Black Tigers, trains the Black Tigers. The most devoted competitor in Sasuke history, but can't clear stage 1 if his life depended on it.
Yep.
Flame, Yamada's comeback. Presumably he is here for 2 reasons. 1, because they could get no foreign competitors in this year. And 2, to just maybe boost Japanese positivity in this terrible year that is 2020. I am glad he's given a high number, because I find it very strange to have seen him with such low numbers, especially in 33 when his run was actually shown. So I'm glad he's got a high number, but Flame, how do you think Yamada will do?
Dragon Glider.
Okay, positive. Puma.
I'm not as optimistic. I'll say Fishbone Kai.
Okay,
That's a possibility.
I'm torn between the two. I'm expecting a slow start on the steps. I can see how his whole run's going to play out. A slow start on the steps. He'll probably be very careful and slow going down the rolling hill. Probably going to break his leg on the dismount of the silk slider and hobble the rest of the way. And then he is going to fail the fishbone in a cruel sense of irony, because he once got one of his black tigers failed by giving him the wrong technique on the fishbone.
Yeah, Sega Man.
Was it Sega Man or was it the other guy? Was it the Snake Eater?
It was Sega.
Oh, okay. The Snake
All right.
Eater,
That he
sorry.
hasn't competed in a while.
So I think this is all. I think we can all agree the biggest shock returner of this tournament, number 98, Makoto Nagano coming out of retirement.
If when it came to Yamada, I was saying, what more can I say? Nagano, there's no point in me even saying anything. In most competitors' eyes and most viewers' eyes all over the entire globe, still the best competitor in Sasuke history. And if he's not still the best competitor in Sasuke history, he is still the most loved competitor in Sasuke history. First appearance since Sasuke 32 when he announced his retirement, during which he came up pretty much 1 second short of clearing stage 1. How is Nagano gonna do? We obviously know from the trailer that he gets to
Spoiler
at least a certain point. I think, okay, even though we're an hour into this podcast, I will say, spoiler alert, for the people that for some reason have watched this far and thought there was no spoilers involved. We know from the trailer he gets onto the first bar of the Dragon Glider. How do you think, Puma, he's going to do?
I think he does clear the Dragon Glider, and I think he gets to the warp wall, and I think, unlike 32 where he just timed out, he will get a clear.
Which would make him the oldest competitor in Sasuke history at the age of 48. By the way, Yamada's 55 in this tournament. At 48, Nagano would be the oldest competitor to clear stage 1.
Yep.
Flame, do you second that opinion?
I think he either fails the warp wall or clears the stage. Maybe fails the transition of the Dragon Glider, but I'm gonna go with he clears.
Ooh.
I want to... Now, this is maybe not the pessimist in me. This is maybe the editor in me, as a guy that edits tournaments. As much as with all my heart, I want to say and predict he clears.
We all do.
There's just something in my head as to why would they show him getting as far as he did in the trailer. And regretfully, because of that, I think they showed that because they're trying to get up hype that he could clear. Hence why they showed him on the Dragon Glider. I think he is going to time out on the warped wall.
Aww.
As much as this is the one prediction I want to be wrong on more than anything. But I just can't look past the fact that why would they show him getting as far as he has? I think it's a publicity stunt. I think they want to hype up, get people hyped to think Nagano's going to clear so that they'll watch the broadcast.
That's fair.
It's a clever trick. And I hope, like I say, with all my heart, that I am proven wrong.
So, after hearing that heartbreaking words, we have to move on to a heartbreaking fail that happened last tournament, and that is Yuji coming off his pipe slider fail.
Yuji Urajihawa, shoe salesman, still at the age of 42. It's a good thing he never wanted to chase a career, because it's a bit late now at 42. That's very harsh. I do apologize, Yuji.
Yeah.
Don't
if you're
hate.
watching this and you understand, we're sorry.
Yeah.
Also, hi.
Don't hate on me, viewers. That was a terrible joke. Yuji is a 2-time grand champion, the only competitor to have achieved total victory twice. After, by his standards, a terrible losing spree in Stage 1, failing it 3 times in a row, has now cleared Stage 1 in 3 of the last 4 tournaments, made it to Stage 3 in both of the last 2 tournaments, and I think in doing so, doing it in the last tournament, he was the oldest competitor to ever get to Stage 3, and then when it looked like he was going to make it to the final stage at the age of 42, as
41.
Puma said.
41.
As Puma said. Oh, sorry, 41.
Fell off.
He's 42 now, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. The
41.
Fell off.
He literally just fell off the pipe cider. It was like God intervened, and just the way the left side of the pipe just kept sliding forward. It was just I could not believe it. It was one of the most for me one of the most shocking failures in the last tournament. And considering the failures we had.
Yeah, it was a blink and you miss it fail. Like it was just you were just sitting back thinking, oh, Yuji's gonna get to the final, and then 1 second he's in the water.
The only nearest comparison
when they
I
showed
can
the replay, like the second he got off the green bar, you could just see by his face he knew he was about to fail.
Yeah.
The nearest or most recent comparison I can think of was Naoya Tajima on the gliding ring in 24. Which was a similar situation, because I think most people probably thought he was going to clear, and then to use Smokey's favorite line, he snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. How do we think, after not just the last tournament, brilliant last 2 tournaments, how do we think Yuji is going to do this time? Flame.
I think that he is gonna clear.
Puma.
I think he knows that his time is starting to run out, and he's really putting in a lot of work and effort, trying to get as much that he can and have the possibility at the final stage. So I think he will clear.
I'm very up in the air on this one. I can't decide, but on this one, I will base it on the form, and the form he has shown in the last 2 tournaments. For me personally, I just was watching both of those 2 tournaments, those runs from him, and could not believe that he still had this in him, considering his age. I will give him the benefit, and I will also say he clears. Just before we move off of Yuji, though, I do want to quickly ask you, Puma, because I remember watching Sasuke 37 with you, and you made this point. You were making a slight case that Yuji has to start being considered above Nagano as the best of all time.
I think it's definitely a conversation to be had, especially with the double total victory, and considering performance at age as well. Yuji, at a much older age, is still continuously putting out good performances, whereas Nagano had a very clear and sharp decline, and he never really rebounded from it.
37 was when Nagano was 37 when he had his Sasuke 24 failure, which then led to subsequently, I believe, only 2 more Stage 1 clears.
Yeah, 27 and 30.
In his career. His last Stage 1 clear, he was 42 years old, I believe. By the way, anyone watching this wondering if I've got like all of Sasukepedia open to check all this, I do not. This is just going off of pure knowledge.
Yeah, we know some stuff.
Me and Puma are Sasuke nerds on this, and I think Flame definitely knows his fair share. A lot more than Atlantic, put it that way. Actually, you know what? That's not doing Flame enough credit. A hell of a lot more than Atlantic. Which brings us to Puma.
I've seen more than 0 tournaments.
So yes.
Hi, Atlantic. How are you?
Number 100, Yusuke Morimoto.
The reigning Grand Champion. I still don't actually know what he does as a job. He took a year off to do something. He's a smart guy. Okay, yeah. He's smarter than me. Maybe he could come to fix my laptop. Or just make me a new computer. The reigning Grand Champion. Cleared stage 1, I want to say...
From 29 to 36.
Which was... 30,
and 27 if you... as well.
How many? 8 appearances in a row?
In every appearance he's had since 27.
Yeah.
Yeah, he cleared stage 1, 8 appearances in a row from 27 to 36, missing missing tournaments 28 and 32 in that time. Failed stage 1 for the first time since Sasuke 22, and because that run was cut, I guess last tournament was the first time since Sasuke 19, when he was a measly 15 or 16 years old. It's the first time we've seen a Yusuke Morimoto failure on stage 1 when he timed out on the watch wall because rain. Because of God.
Because God had
I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it pure and simple. He's clearing. Anyone want to veto? Anyone want to veto against that?
No.
Okay, yeah, I think that's the second easiest prediction behind Jun Sato that we've all had. I think Yusuke's failure in the last tournament was just a pure example of the rain screwing him over.
So now the question comes before we go to stage 2. Do you guys have any randos that you think will clear?
Right, well first I need to quickly count up how many stage 1 clears I actually have.
I have it written down actually. So Hunter and Flame, interestingly, both have 16.
Ooh.
And I have 18.
Ooh. So there were 10 stage 1 clears in the last tournament. And I believe there were... Was it 15?
15.
Was it 15 in Sasuke 36? Yeah.
And only 8 in 35.
I'm discounting 35 just because they obviously had the new Dragon Glider and the shortened time limit. Yeah. So it was almost like a mini renewal on stage 1.
Yeah.
Again, as I say...
about 7.
Yeah. As I say, I think the only reason we had less clears in the last tournament was because of the rain. So I think naturally that and the fact that the course, barring one obstacle, is the same, is the reason that we have had an increase in clears. I am going to say, because my 16 clears are all competitors, apart from maybe number 19, although I think all of the other 15 names have all cleared stage 1 before. Oh, no, sorry, and the footballer.
Yeah.
I am going to throw in 2 randos clear. Probably getting fast forwarded, but you never know. Maybe one of them might get shown if they're really early in the tournament.
All right. Flame, how many randos do you think will clear?
I think I'm going to put in 3 randos.
Ooh. Randos.
I know we mentioned earlier about the... how many are you having, Puma?
So I have 2 randos as well. I think 2 people will also clear.
Even though I said earlier about the fact that obviously Puma's taking all of these predictions down, and in previous Sasuke's when we've done the predictions, we haven't really declared a winner. I don't know how seriously Puma will be taking it. I don't know if he's going to be giving ticks.
I'll mark it down.
If he's giving ticks or crosses for each time we get a prediction right or wrong. And if we do get them right or wrong, I don't know if he's got like a scorecard system for it, or if it's just basically
I'm in
one
the process
point.
of developing it.
I don't know if it's just like 1 point for every correct prediction. I think we did predictions for one Sasuke tournament where like one of us won with like 3 predictions correctly.
Yeah. So
Okay.
for stage 2, how it's gonna work, we're gonna go through each individually. Just go down our own list. I will name the list off to them and say how they do as it goes down for stage 2. And we'll start with the person who has the least amount of stage 1 clears, and that is Hunter.
Oof.
With 18. So we're gonna start with the randos first. How do you think Rando 1 is gonna do?
Okay, Rando 1. I'm going to say, I should also point out that I am keeping track of my own predictions as well, so that Puma doesn't screw me over, so that Puma doesn't screw me out of a win if I do win. I'm going to say, I'm just going to give you them both straight away. I'm going to say Rando 1 fails one of the randos fails the salmon ladder going up, and the other one fails the salmon ladder going down.
You don't have to specify that, I believe. You can just, yeah.
Because they are 2 separate obstacles, aren't they?
They shouldn't
technically, but we're just going to count the Kudari salmon ladder as one big salmon ladder.
They're both failing somewhere on the salmon ladder.
Alright, sounds good. So now we're going to start in chronological order. Koji Sakawa.
Failed the salmon ladder last time. He might have put practice in for it this time, because I think going into it last time, I think he just, from what I can remember, he just rocked up to Sasuke and did it. I'm still going to say he fails the salmon ladder again, though. Although I think he might actually get to the downward section this time.
Alright. So now we have Koda Sakuma.
So just remind me, because again I've forgotten, this is...
The guy from Sasuke 35, who was number 4, got to the warp wall, and then 36 failed the warp wall at number 21.
The warped wall muck-up, yes.
Yep.
He's not got a warped wall to fail this time. I'm going to say, just because I can't see anyone failing the backstream ever again, unless they drown, like Shingo did, I'm going to say he keeps his timeout. Right, his timeout consistency going, and he times out on the conveyor belt.
On the conveyor belt. So now we have our first Black Tiger, Yoshiyuki Yamamoto. How do you think he will do?
So this is the Black Tiger. Well, sorry, they both cleared last time, but this is the Black Tiger that you are highly rating and you think is better. Yep. I am going to say he is because I think he was the first clear on stage 2 in the last tournament as well. I'm going to say he is the first clear on stage 2. Also, I'd like to quickly shout out to what sounded like a screaming child in the background of Puma's mic.
Yeah, oopsie daisy. So then, number 50, we got Yoshinori Issa, the second of the Black Tigers.
I could easily be proven wrong here, and he could easily clear stage 2 again for the second time in a row. But he's had a really bad run on his debut, followed by a really good run last time out. This time I'm going to say he's going to have a really middling run. So he's going to fail somewhere in the middle. And I'm going to say he times out on the wall lift.
So now we move on to Hyoki.
Clear. Keep it simple for you.
Alright, so then we have Kano.
Oh. Who else predicted Kano on stage 2? Was it just me? Or did...
No, I did as well.
I think, much like Rio, Kano will have enough. There's enough of this stage 2. This is actually kind of a bad negative. Another way we can throw fuel on the fire. Stage 2 being, bad for not changing it. Most of this stage 2 is still the same as what it was when Kano last made it to stage 2 in 31. The salmon ladder up and down is still the same. The spider walk's still the same. The backstream's still the same, and he's still got the wall left. I'm going to say Kano clears.
So now, moving on from well-known Kano, we have the not-known footballer at 80.
Salmon ladder. Salmon ladder. Okay, this is where the dream ends.
So then, 82, we got Araki.
I'm going to say he clears.
Clear. So then we have 20th appearance, Takeda.
And it will be about the 15th time, regretfully, poor Takeda goes out on the salmon ladder. As much as I don't even want to see him clear stage 2 again, I just want to see him get past the salmon ladder. But I just can't see it. If he was 5 years younger, maybe, and that's still a big if. I just can't see it though.
So now we have ABCZ. Does he get past the salmon ladder finally?
Oh, good question. I am going to say, looking at the names we've got left, because it seems customary to throw in a spider walk fail since we've had one in each of the last 3 tournaments, or maybe even the last 4 tournaments.
Yeah.
And which I think, actually, that's correct, I think.
Yeah.
There's been at least
twice,
one...
Kiyotaro and then Yusuke Suzuki.
And the footballer in 36. Yeah, I'm going to say he fails the spider walk. Well, actually, sorry. Are we? If you're counting the salmon ladder as one obstacle, are you counting the walk
spider
and the
one
drop?
obstacle, yes.
Okay, yeah, just anywhere on the spider walk, I think.
So then we got 90 Kiyotaro Yamamoto.
I have a feeling that at least one of you is going to say this guy finally clears stage 2. So because of that, I'm going to be different, and I'm going to say he times out on the wall lift yet again.
Oof. So now we got Jun Sato.
Clear, and I believe that will be 7 in a row to tie the record. Yeah, I think
then,
he after you know who failed to do it, I think he will do it.
Yes. So then we got Tada. Does he make it back to stage 3?
Yeah, human male.
Yes, I believe Tada will not choke on stage 2.
So then we got Kawaguchi.
I think
96.
To keep it simple from here, because again, this is my opinion of stage 2, I think all of the last 3, Kawaguchi, Yuji, and Morimoto, will all clear stage 1.
Alrighty, I just have to write that down.
I think with, once again, how similar stage 2 is, I just can't see it tripping up any of the big name veterans that are used to stage 2.
Is 9 people moving on to stage 2 for Hunter. Or stage 3, sorry. 9 people moving on to stage 3.
One more than last time. One more than
so
last
then,
last
Flame
time.
with 19 clears. Your 3 randos, how do they do?
I think 1 fails salmon ladder, 1 clears, and 1 times out on the conveyor belt.
One of your randos is going to clear. Is it going to be another like black? Is it going to be a bit like how the Black Tigers came out of nowhere in the last tournament and cleared?
All right, so
some
now,
guy we've never heard of before gets to stage 3.
Yeah, so now we start with Koji Saikawa. How do you think you'll do?
I think Hunter, you predicted he'd fail the salmon ladder, right?
Yep. Uh-huh.
I've seen videos of him practicing the salmon ladder. One of them, he gets bonked in the head by the bar, which I thought was funny. So because I feel bad for him for that, I'm going to say he clears it and fails the spider walk.
Spider walk. All right, so now we got Kota Sakuma making his first appearance.
The watch wall specialist.
Yeah.
Kota Sakuma.
I'm not going to give you every one of my predictions again, just so you know.
Yeah. You know, I don't know how... I haven't seen any, footage of him practicing on any obstacles on stage 2, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say Salmon Ladder.
All right. So then Yusuke Suzuki.
They failed the Spider Walk last time. I think he's. You know what? I think he's gonna fail the Rolling Log.
Oh.
Interesting. Interesting.
You know,
So
I
now
didn't
we
even
got-
think about putting one of my randos of failing the rolling log. I
Yeah.
almost forgot that
Forgot
the rolling log will be in
existed.
it this time.
So now 49, we got Yoshiyuki Yamamoto.
Black
I
Tiger
think he
number one.
clears.
You thinks he clears?
Yep.
Just gotta write that down. Give me a sec. All right. So now 57, Hioki.
Yoki, I also think clears.
So now we move on to Ayano. Flame.
Yano Oshima,
Miss.
she's definitely not as good as Jessie. I'm
That's
gonna
fair.
say she fails Salmon Ladder.
Oh.
All right. So then we move on to Araki.
Rocky, I think he's gonna time out on the wall lift.
Mm.
So now does Takeda make his grand return to stage 3?
I think he does.
What?
Oh,
Oh, if this happens, I will take my hat off to Flame.
This is my ballsiest prediction by far.
This,
So,
is
yeah,
that
that
your
definitely
ballsy
is.
prediction? I had a ballsy
Yeah.
one earlier, I think.
So now
I've already
we have
forgotten what it was,
ABCZ.
but-
Is ABCZ also as ballsy?
I think he fails a spider drop.
All right, Spider. So now we have Kiyotaro Yamamoto.
I'm gonna. I don't know if this is ballsy or not. I think he finally clears.
I do feel
He's been
like he
here long
could
enough.
clear. I do feel like he could finally clear. I just am sticking to the norm with my, and also because I figured at least one of you would predict he clears. I wanted to provide something
Want to be a
different.
little different.
You know,
now
just
we go
to
on
give me a
to-
chance of maybe getting a win, getting a point on that
It
one.
could be the point that costs you though. But now we go on to Sato. How does Sato do?
Clear.
All right, Tada.
Clear.
Is anyone else failing?
Yeah, is anyone else failing?
Um,
I suppose. Kawaguchi,
Yeah.
Nagano, Yuji, or Morimoto.
Kawaguchi, I think, will time out on the wall lift.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. Nagano,
This is one
I
thing them
also
taking
think
into
he'll
account.
time out on the wall lift.
Nagano on the wall lift.
That's 48. Do you reckon he's going to get that far?
He's my
And then-
favorite competitor of all time, okay?
I
So
think.
now we have Yuji and Morimoto.
Yeah.
Yuji, I think, clears, and so does Yusuke.
I'm interested actually how old Kawaguchi is because I feel like he is getting on a bit now.
Kawaguchi's 39.
Ow, Jesus.
Yeah.
Sasuke's just flyby these days. The competitors. Everyone's old now.
Yeah, people are starting to get old. We need fresh blood. But now, with me and my 20 clears, we're gonna
How many
start with.
stage 2 clears did I have?
You have 9 as well.
Okay.
We can't split us up. And one of yours was a rando.
Yeah. So now, with me, my 2 randos are not as successful as Flame's rando. I have 1 rando failing the Kudari, and I have another failing the backstream. So going into the big name, actual named people, we have Kota Sakuma, and I believe that he times out at the wall lift. And with Yusuke Suzuki, I also believe he will time out at the wall lift. Black Tiger Yoshiyuki Yamamoto, I am very high on him, as I said before, and I believe he will clear very easily. Hioki, he's always been very consistent at stage 2, and I feel very confident in that. I think he will clear. Shunsuke, he's failed a spider walk the last 2 times. And I think he'll be more cautious and slow, and I think as a result of that, he will time out at the wall lift because he was going
God,
a
this
little
is gonna
too
be-
slow.
This is going to be a long stage 2 based off of Puma's predictions. All these
Yeah.
timeouts and
So then 72 with Kano. I think this is the time we see Kano back on stage 3. I think Kano clears. However, when it comes to Ayano, I'm not as confident. I think she will fail the salmon ladder. And then when we go to Araki, I believe he will clear. Takeda, as much as I want him to beat the salmon ladder, I think he actually will, but it will be too slow, and he'll get to the conveyor belt with like 5 seconds left and timeout on the conveyor belt.
Break his shoulder on the conveyor belt when he gets in it. You know how everyone gets thrown to the right or like their right. Yeah. He'll get thrown to the right and just snap his shoulder on the.
No. So then Snowman, I don't believe Snowman can get past the salmon ladder. I think he will fail it. However, with Kiyotaro Yamamoto, he's failed the spider walk. I think he'll get past it, and I think he will clear. I think he will get his first time. Kenji Darvish, I don't think he will have his second stage 3 appearance. I think he will time out at the wall lift. And then when it comes to Sato, Tada, and Kawaguchi, I think they all clear. Then when we go to Nagano, I think he times out at the wall lift as well. And then Yuji and Morimoto clear as well, leading me to 10 clears. So
that's the one thing we were robbed of, actually, the last time Nagano was on stage 2. Because of the bullshit rules, we got to miss out on seeing Nagano's swimming skills.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
It also robbed Takahashi of probably clearing stage 2 again.
Yeah, keeping his perfect record intact until the conveyor belt fail.
I'm going to say something about Takahashi when we're done with this.
Alright, sounds good.
So we got 9, 9, and 10 on stage 3.
I believe we'll do the same order as we had done before. So I just want to clarify one thing. When we get to the cliffhanger dimension, say you think he'll fail if someone will fail the first transfer or the second transfer.
This is going to
make it interesting.
This is going to make it tougher.
So Yoshiyuki Yamamoto.
So we failed the second transfer last time.
Yes.
I think with the fact the ledge will be moved, will hopefully. So was the original plan for the first transfer to have a moving ledge as well? Or
yes, the first ledge is going to move up and down, and the second was going to move forward and backward.
How are you supposed to? Does that mean like the whole thing will be moving up and down? Because haven't you got to go like round the corner?
Except the starting one, yeah.
That's going to be really awkward. If it's going up and down, and you have to go round the corner whilst it's going up and down, I would not honestly be surprised if someone screwed that up. Like you know how.
I mean, you can say that and be very specific.
You know how
obstacle specific thing.
Yeah, so I guess there's 3 ways we could call it on the cliffhanger.
Well, 4 if you think he'll just fail the first ledge.
Oh yeah, like what's his name? That's what I was going to bring up.
Reefman, yeah.
Reefman, yeah. I couldn't remember his name, so we're going with his nickname. That's what I was thinking. Like if you're going, like someone's going to fail it, like Reefman, they try to go round the corner, and because it's going up and down, they just completely. I'm not sure I will put anyone down for that. I will say he gets to the second transfer on the cliffhanger.
Alright, so now we have Hioki.
I think... So he got to the second transfer 2 tournaments ago, but he failed the first one last time. I'm going to say he fails the first one.
Alright, so now we have Kano.
You're going to be seeing a very similar trend here, audience, with what I'm going for. Kano, I think, will also fail the first transfer. But I think his will be more down to lack of experience on it.
That's
more
fair.
Than anything.
Yeah. So now we move on to Araki.
Now, this was the guy... He didn't get to the vertical limit, did he?
Or was this he failed the second transfer in 36.
This is second transfer. This guy is good. I'm still gonna say cliffhanger, but I'm toying with where. I'm gonna be a bit more different with this one, and I will say the second. I'll say he gets past the up and down this time around.
Right. So now we move on to Jun Sato. Will he finally clear?
Based off my prediction, this will be the 7th time in a row he's made it to stage 3. And 5 of the 6 previous times have been cliffhanger fails. Again, did he in the last tournament got to the second transfer?
Yes, he got to the second transfer.
but that was all with non-moving ledges. This is where I lose my faith in him. Stage 1 and 2, I feel like he's strong enough and obviously fast enough to just smash through it. But the cliffhanger, he has just shown time and time again. I just don't see it. And so because of that, I'm going to say the first transfer on the cliffhanger.
Ooh. So now we go on to Tada. Does he get 2 in a row and become the 7th person to make the final stage more than once?
Well, I will be saying he clears the cliffhanger, which will be my first cliffhanger clear of the tournament. He's got a vertical limit failure and a clear. I am going to say this is where the pressure gets to him. And I'm going to say he fails the vertical limit.
Fair. So now we go on to Kawaguchi.
Again, this is where my faith, whilst I made the point earlier that I think he is inconsistent, I do feel he has the ability to get to the cliffhanger. But then this is where it all goes wrong for him. And I feel like he will screw up the first transfer.
Ooh. And now Yuji, how does he get back to the pipe sider or beyond?
I am going to say Yuji once again. This probably will be my ballsy prediction for stage 3. I'm going to say Yuji will clear the cliffhanger again, and I'm going to say he gets to the end of the vertical limit before failing.
Nice.
So I will say he fails vertical limit.
So now, do we have Morimoto clear, or does your tournament end on stage 3?
I'm going to say Morimoto clears.
Woohoo. So now we have Flame with his... So you have a rando. How does he do? Or she, I suppose. It could be a she.
I think Rando is going to fail the...
Got 3 obstacles before the cliffhanger, which I made 0 mention to.
Sidewinder.
Ooh, the Sidewinder Kai.
I feel like
in the words of
everyone, I feel like all 9 names I said will just breeze their way to the cliffhanger.
Yeah, so now...
The only one that could be a hit and miss is Kano, because he's not been there, he's not done any of them before.
That's very fair. So now, after Rando starts the tournament very well with the Sidewinder Kai fail, we have Yoshiyuki Yamamoto.
Yoshiyuki. I think he's gonna fail the first cliffhanger jump.
Alrighty. A little bit of a regression. So now we go on to Hyoki.
Hyoki, I think the same thing will happen.
So now, for his 14th time, we have Takeda on stage 3. How does he do? Does he finally get his clear?
No.
He's not gonna clear the stage. I don't think he's gonna clear an obstacle either. Flying bar.
Oh god. Oh no.
That's just... I am mean.
So now we have Kiyotaro Yamamoto making his first appearance on stage 3.
You know what? I don't know if this is bold or not, but I'm gonna say vertical limit.
Oh.
Well, we don't really. I guess it doesn't help that a lot of his runs get fast forwarded, but we don't really know where he stands strength wise.
Skill wise. Yeah.
Apparently,
he looks very.
He has
skinny.
really good upper body and grip strength.
Well, he is. Didn't I say he was a member of the Unlimited Cliffers earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a fact I did look up. That one I did have to look up, audience.
So now we have Jun Sato. Do you think he clears for the first time?
I think he fails the second cliffhanger transfer.
So now we have Tada. Does he get 2 in a row?
Tada. I think he's gonna... I think... I did predictions based on the guessing game for SMF a few days ago, but I forgot most of the results, so I'm doing a lot of them brand new here. One thing I do remember predicting on that I'm gonna go with again here Might seem like a hot take because of the pressure he's going to be under, but I think he clears the stage.
Ooh. One clear. So now does Yuji follow him right after?
Speaking of pressure, Yuji's biggest weakness has always been that.
That's true.
Like, he is not very good in, like, situations where he's under a lot of pressure.
That's true.
Under pressure.
Yeah. One of the greatest collaboration songs of all time, by the way.
So how are you feeling?
Yeah.
With Yuji?
So, Yuji, I think that the pressure is going to get to him, and I think he's going to fail the second jump on the cliffhanger.
Alrighty. And now Morimoto, does he join his friend Hada on the final stage?
I think Yusuke does the same thing Yuji does. I think he fails second cliffhanger transfer.
Oh, wow.
I feel like it's difficult to fully gauge how tough this cliffhanger will be until we see it in action.
That's
But-
true.
With what they have done or what they want it to be as an obstacle, which, to be fair, I still don't get it. I still don't get why it's here.
Like, they could have just made, like, the moving ledger on the Ultra Crates cliffhanger, like, move faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. I feel like
Like,
this is an
increase the
obstacle that we should have
distance.
not seen until another total victory. But
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to cause a hell of a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, my 10 people. Interesting. So I start with Yoshiyuki Yamamoto. And this is going to, I guess, be my ballsy prediction of the tournament, where I think he will fail the vertical limit. I think he
Okay.
gets past it, but will fail the vertical limit. So then we go on to Hyoki, and unfortunately, I don't think he gets past the first transfer of the cliffhanger dimension.
Yeah.
So now we come to Kano. Kano's shoulder's always been a problem, and his unfamiliarity with the obstacles is definitely going to hurt him, and I think the planet bridge will see him in the water. So now we move on to Araki, and with Araki, I think he beats the first transfer, but does not get past the second. With Kiyotaro, I just feel like we gotta have a shock, you know?
We don't
And
know
shock in a bad
where
way.
he's at.
So
Yeah.
I'm feeling a Sidewinder Kai failure for him.
Just imagine
unfortunately.
if it was a shock in the other direction and he actually cleared. It's just
Oh,
like, all
just-
that's been holding him back is the time limit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then we move to Jun Sato, and as much as I would love to see Jun Sato in the final stage, I don't think he gets past the second transfer of the dimension. So then we go to Tada, with a lot of hype and pressure on him possibly. I think he does beat the cliffhanger, but he fails the vertical limit with Yamamoto. And then we go to Kawaguchi, and I think he does beat the first transfer, but the second one costs him, and I think Yuji follows suit, failing the second one. So then we go to Morimoto to save the tournament, and he does, and he clears being the only
Same as
person
me.
on the final. Yeah,
I think there's
So
a
we
lot
all
of
have a
runners.
final.
Just
we all have
yeah,
a final.
just quickly on Tada, because he's the only person in this position. I think there's been, if you look back through all of Sasuke, there's been plenty of tournaments in the past where a competitor has got to the final and then cracked under the just on stage 3. I mean, has then got back to stage 3 in the next tournament and then just cracked under the pressure.
Kawaguchi's a good example of that.
I saw a clip of Bumpei's Sasuke 13 fail, and see that as a good example. That was missed
So
opportunity.
I guess we'll continue the order that we have been doing. So we have Morimoto on the final stage. Does he fail one of the three sections, or
you know
does he
what?
get
I'd
total
like
victory?
to, as the host,
Oh.
mix it all up. We
Mix it up.
all have
Ooh.
we all have Morimoto. That is
Well, no,
true. Yeah,
I have Tada.
He has Tada.
I thought you had Tada and Morimoto. Have you just
No,
got Tada?
Morimoto fails that.
I predicted-
Okay.
Yusuke to fail second cliffhanger jump.
Okay. I've got a different idea.
Ooh.
We've all got one person on the final stage. On the count of 3, I want us to all say yes or no to if there's going to be our guy is going to have a total victory.
Alright.
So me and Puma for Yusuke and Flame for Tada. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So are we all saying it at the same time, or just you
At the
two
same
and then
time,
me?
at the same
Okay.
time, just to see if we can, and see if the audience can understand it. Ready? 1,
Yes.
2, 3, go!
No.
No! Yeah, you get that. We all don't think there will be a total victory.
So where do we think they'll fail on the final?
I
Like,
think
how
my
close
use.
will they
I
be?
think my Yusuke will get to the rope climb.
I have to agree with Hunter. I think he times out at the rope climb.
I don't think we'll see a dislodge of the salmon ladder again this time. Because wasn't it raining or had been raining?
No,
At the final stage run last
it was
time?
like it was a windy day, I believe. I have to ask Smokey.
Yeah, it was
Smokey
windy.
would know more than us because he was
But-
actually there.
But
prediction,
neither Tada
Flame?
or Renee even got to the rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last prediction of the podcast, Flame. Where's Tada failing?
I think he'll get like around a little bit past halfway on the rope climb.
Okay, so we're all saying that our guy will get to someone will get to the last obstacle on the whole course.
Yes.
Like, how close specifically, like on the rope, do you think
I
Yusuke's
don't
gonna
know.
I think Yusuke does get close, but it's
Yusuke
not
got close
enough.
in
get? Will it be as
36,
close as
didn't he?
36?
I think it's not as close as 36, but it's still gonna be considerably close.
Like,
I'm
sort of
gonna
like between
say
there and 35.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's either as close as it was in 36 or just marginally worse.
So
Yeah.
we have all our predictions in for
Yeah,
the tournament. It's gonna be
Yeah.
That
starting
was
in
me
2
thinking
weeks'
this was
time.
going to be... Yeah, so what is it? It's the 27th of December, am I right in saying?
I think it was
29th
29th.
is when it airs.
That's how bad I am as a host, ladies and gentlemen. If you follow my advice, you're going to be watching Sasuke on the wrong day.
Okay, to be fair, it would be the 28th for most people outside of Japan if they're in the United States or UK. Or
It's going to be
It's
4
airing-
in the morning
okay.
on the 29th for me.
It's airing on the
okay.
29th of December at 7 p.m. local time in Japan, with it predicted to run for about 4 hours. That is 11 a.m. for the UK, 6 a.m. for Eastern, 3 a.m. for Pacific, and 4 a.m. for Central. And anybody else, work it
I
out
think
for
it's 6
yourself.
for
Sorry,
Eastern.
everyone else.
I mean, 5 Eastern, 5.
it's 5 Eastern and then
Oh,
2
is the time
Pacific.
difference? I thought the times had changed for you
No,
guys.
no. So it would be 5 a.m.
Oh, is it?
for Eastern.
Oh, is it 10 a.m.?
for-
Oh, am I completely wrong?
Hunter has goofed. Hunter has goofed. It is 10 a.m. UK, 5 a.m. Eastern, 4 Central, 3 Mountain, 2 Pacific.
I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. You see, I took into account the time, like the daylight savings for the UK to the US, but then completely forgot that Japan doesn't use daylight savings.
Yeah.
So it is in fact a 9-hour difference from Japan to the UK rather than the 8, which is what I thought it was. So it's 10 a.m. for the UK because they're
Might
the
want to
people
put
that
the
are most
times in the
important.
description. So
Yeah,
that
I'll
way
write it
people
on the
actually have a
screen.
copy.
If I can
Yeah.
remember, I will write it on the screen now. And for anybody else, screw you, I guess, Killer.
Yeah, if your
'Cause,
time
I
zone's
don't know
not
what
on
time
there,
you're-
too bad.
Yeah,
Probably
Killer
won't be able to
Man,
watch
figure it out.
anyways.
Killer is probably going to be like 8 o'clock at night. It's only probably going to be like an hour ahead, or maybe 2 at most. For
New
Killer.
Zealand's 3 hours ahead of Japan.
Oh,
I
fuck
believe.
me. Could I get any more of this wrong?
It
Okay.
should end at 2 a.m. for him.
Yeah.
Okay, well. I thought this was going to be a nice short one, but we've been going for 2 hours and 5 minutes. So,
Yeah.
I hope you guys have enjoyed this podcast. Look forward to Sasuke.
If you watch it, if you can.
If you can watch it. Oh, yeah, good luck trying to find
Because SMF's
streams.
not doing it.
Yeah, it's a Sasuke
If one
Maniac
of
and
you
not
know
running
a-
a live
If
stream.
one of you know of a stream and would like to put it in the comments below, please do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I've managed to find one so far, which seems to be legit and, a proper website. I will probably try and find more in the coming days and weeks in the coming week leading up to Sasuke. I will probably be going on a mass search. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this podcast, this video. Who knows when the next podcast will be? This is podcast 6, and we did the first one like 5 years ago. So who knows when the next podcast is coming out?
Podcast 7, The Pod Awakens.
The pod of
The
greed.
last podcast episode.
Oh god. Yeah, I don't think there's any more that needs to be said apart from saying thanks to Flame and Puma. Flame, this being I want to say his first time in any form of podcast on this channel. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy Sasuke 38 and we have a good tournament, but good in the sense that your predictions don't come right and mine do.
Should be better than 26.
If that soccer player clears, I'm
God.
gonna eat my shoe.
The soccer
then
player
again-
clears. I will do something. I don't know what, but I'll do something. Anyway, I've been Hunty at 751. We will see you guys again very soon for another video. Don't hate on us. These were just our predictions. This is just our opinions, I swear. Bye!